Welcome to Northeast Texas Today. I'm James Wyatt. Thanks for joining us today. And as you can see, we have gone out of the studio. We are actually on the North Campus of PRMC, and we have a very special opportunity today. We're going to get to visit with a couple of really neat folks that are going to give us some tips and some ideas about falls. I want to introduce Julie Tidwell, who is an OTR, and Joshua Franklin, who's a physical therapist. And of course, they are both here at PRMC. And welcome to the program. Thank you for taking time out. I know you guys are super busy, lots of things going on, even just off camera here. We got folks doing all kinds of things. But thank you so much for taking the time out to make us aware of something that's going on this month, September the 22nd through the 29th. Julie, tell us a little bit about what that is.
Well, September 22nd through the 29th is National Fall Safety Awareness Week. And it's so important that the seniors and just our community knows about fall prevention. And
well, now that is something that, irregardless of your health, as far as what may be affecting you, could affect anyone at any time.
Because it could.
And of course, we always think of falls being sort of an older demographic problem, but it's not necessarily the case. Is that correct?
It's for everyone, but studies have shown that individuals 65 and older are more at risk to fall than someone at 40 years old. So they have their chance of falling is a third as compared to the younger population.
Well, is there certain things that happen, and we'll direct this toward Joshua, are there certain things that happen or certain things that people need to look out for that cause falls?
Exactly, like there are two things that can happen. Falls can happen inside the house or it can happen outside the house. And being safe is very important, and also you have to look at the things that is around the house that is not safe for you. Just an example, like power cords. Just having a telephone line running through.
Electrical line or something running on the floor to the fan, especially during the hot summer months.
Hot summer months,
You have a fan across the floor there,
That's right. Or, throw rugs. A lot of the older people, they like to have throw rugs everywhere in the house, but that is a big safety hazard, that could trip you and you could fall with that.
Well, one of the things that I know in my own experience, my father, who was in his 80s before he passed, as he got older, he tended to shuffle.
That's right.
And so the rugs and things would sort of bunch up under his feet. And so once you reach a certain age, it may be a good idea to remove some of those items. Is that correct?
The risk goes up at 80 years old to half. Half the people 80 years and older will fall.
Wow. Wow.
So.
Well, what are some of the things that people can do? Is there something that they can do to sort of screen their home or an opportunity that they can take advantage of, perhaps, that you guys can give them some tips or some pointers on?
Yes. We have a fall safety checklist that anyone can come up here and pick up at our secretary's desk. We are also going to offer a fall safety screening every second Tuesday of the month from 8 to 9 o'clock. They can call up here and make an appointment. Our number is 903-737-1108, and they can call at any time, like I said, and make an appointment. They'll come up here and we'll do a fall safety screen.
Yeah, what are some of the things that they might see from that? I mean, what are some of the questions, perhaps?
We're going to have a checklist, and if they see that they're at risk, then they can continue with the screen if they'd like to. With that screen, we're going to ask them about their medications, about their fall history, if they walk with a device. We're going to do a few tests on them, put one foot in front of the other. Another test, they stand up and walk 10 feet and walk back, and we time them to see how fast they go.
That kind of gives us an idea about how fast they are reacting. Like when you're going from A to B, you should be able to get up and balance yourself and then go to A, and then turn around or reach for cabinets or things like that in the house situation. So if they're able to balance enough to do those tasks, so those are things that will tell us, oh, they have a potential to fall or they don't have a potential to fall. So those are some of the things the children can, they can identify, the sons and daughters. One of the easy things that they can find out is like, if you're walking with your dad or mom or in-laws or whoever, like if you're just walking with them and then you ask a simple question, okay, how old are you? And then if they have to stop and then turn around and answer you, that means, they cannot do that not in an automatic way, they should be able to answer that question without stopping.
Right. I see. Okay.
Simple things like that, like those things that you can notice.
Right.
So if those things you can notice, then you can come to us and say, okay, hey, I think my dad or mom is having some issues like this. Or, can you give us some, can you screen my mom or dad, because they're not picking up their feed? Or like Julie was saying that, usually, and also Julie talked about the medication aspect of it.
Right.
Mhm.
Right.
And sometimes, like a lot of us take, prescribed medications. And on top of that, if you get a cold or if you get a headache, we take some of the off-the-counter medicines, but they interact each other, and so those are the medicines, like sometimes we continuously take because allergy seasons comes and we take long off-the-counter medicines.
Right.
So they interact with each other, so those are some of the good identifications that, we can send them to a doctor and say, okay, let your doctor check on these medicines, see if they are causing your falls,
Okay.
things like that.
Now, is there a room in the home that they should be particularly careful about, or a room that more falls happen in?
Yes, bathrooms, they have the most falls
Okay.
over any other room in the house. There's more falls there because there's water involved, people slip. When we get older, we have a hard time maybe stepping over into the bathtub or into the walk-in shower,
Right.
and they could fall in
Well,
or
now,
fall out.
Before we started, we said that you guys had a little bit of a demonstration that you wanted to share with us today.
Sure.
Yes.
Can we go ahead and do that?
We
that,
can.
Now, tell us exactly what we're going to be demonstrating.
Well, one of the things is like there's no way that you can fall safely, but there are some tips that at least you can have.
Okay.
One of the things that you can think about is like trying to kind of reach with your hands instead of just kind of going with your head first. Or like when you're going to fall, when you think that, okay, I'm losing my balance, I have to catch myself, then rolling over to your shoulders or rolling to your hips. So that way, those are some of the preventive measures that you can do. And also, we're going to demonstrate how, if you fall, how safely can you get up.
Oh, okay. So
You
so
know.
once you've fallen, there's a proper way to get up.
Exactly.
Oh, okay.
Exactly. The reason that is like, the sooner you get up or sooner you mobilize yourself, the you can avoid the complications.
I see.
Okay. Otherwise, you're going to run into more complications like, you're going to try to have some skin problems. You're going to have some pressure sores if you're staying on the floor for a long time. Or, you're going to have some hypothermia setting in, which causes more blood issues and things like that. So you can prevent those things, which will help you with your recovery part.
Okay. All right. Well, so who's going to get to demonstrate that for us?
Well,
Julie's going to get to demonstrate. Oh, all right, great. So we get to see Julie fall then. All right. So, all right. Well, let's go ahead and do that, and then then I guess Joshua's going to sort of show us the proper way to get up after that too, or
Right.
help you show us how to get up.
Right.
right.
All right. Good. Well, let's do that then.
Okay.
All right. So we've moved into position here, and we've gotten onto the mat, and Julie's going to demonstrate
How to fall.
how to fall.
Right.
Okay. That sounds so odd to say. Demonstrate how to fall. So, okay. So all right. Well, Josh, tell us what we're going to be seeing here.
A couple of things that when you know that you're going to fall, or when you want to really protect your head. That's very important. So you want to kind of reach with your hands and then roll down to the floor, so that way you can roll onto your shoulders. That is a safe way to do it. Julie, if you would demonstrate. So as we go, just kind of bend your knees and then roll into. There you go. And then roll onto your hips and then the shoulders. That's the safest way to fall. Because a lot of these falls happens in the bathroom because you're slipping and you're falling and things like that. So the space is not very much. So you're kind of confined to one place. So that's what happens.
So is it best to try to go ahead and go with it like that, as opposed to trying to catch yourself on something?
Sometimes what happens is like the things are not very stable. So
Right.
you're kind of going back yourself and pulling and things like this. So more steps are going to fall on you.
I see. Okay. Well,
So,
that
you
does
know,
make sense.
Exactly. It's because usually not every house has a grab bar or anything like that. Like you just have those towel racks and they're not very stable.
gonna
So
hold you.
exactly. So when you try to pull them, then it's not going to be helpful.
Yeah. Or the shower curtain. A lot of people would go to
Exactly.
and it's going to pop loose real easy. So.
Exactly.
All right,
So
great.
those things that are just, and then like the best thing is like as soon as you fall, then try to calm down a little bit. I know that's very difficult to do it, but try to kind of come to your senses.
Okay.
And say that like I'm going to try to take some deep breathing, trying to make sure that I'm comfortable here, sitting on wherever in the position. Do not try to move around immediately. Make sure that you're doing okay first.
Okay.
Make sure that you're not hurting anywhere. You're able to move your legs and arms a little bit. So just kind of come to your senses. That's very important first. So that way, that you're okay and you're safe and everything like this. Okay, and then the best way to do it is like, as Julie's sitting around, try to kind of make her to stretch your legs a little bit.
Okay.
Okay, just kind of get herself positioned a little bit where she can kind of sit comfortably. So that way she's okay, everything is movable, she's not bleeding and things like that, So just make sure that you're doing okay.
Okay.
Okay, and then the other thing that she needs to do is like, not every house is got a lot of the bathroom, you'll have a little bit of a chair usually, or you can scoot yourself to a toilet seat. Those are all the safe areas that you can do. If you think that you're safe, then what you do is like, you have to kind of scoot a little closer to a chair or to a toilet seat, wherever that you can. So Julie, if you mind scooting over this way, just go ahead and scoot over. Okay, and then the easy way to do it is like, just kind of bending your knees a little bit behind you. Okay, and hold on to a chair or a toilet seat, wherever that you feel comfortable and very steady. Okay. Because you don't have to really get up from the floor. Right. All the way up to sit up or come to a sitting position.
So maybe coming up to the toilet seat or the chair is your next goal, not
that
trying to stand up completely.
No,
okay.
Because like that means you're just moving, but you're moving safe to a safer environment. That is very important. So what you want to do, Julie, like go ahead and reach to one side, and then what you're going to do is like you're going to come on your knees for me. Okay, as you come onto your knees, this is your next position. You're moving slowly, making sure everything is good. So, and then as you come up tall, just kind of turn around, Julie. There you go. And then bring your bottom to the chair. And then there you go. One leg, and then kind of scoot it in that way.
So really just a series of small movements.
Small movements.
To get you to where you need to be.
Exactly.
Now, Joshua, let me ask you this.
Sure.
Say I get into this position and I'm starting to experience pain in a leg, hip, something like that. What's my next step?
Okay.
Because if I need to get to a phone,
exactly.
And try to call.
Exactly. That is something that you want to do. Like not everybody carries a phone at the in the house. So that way, the next thing that you want to do is like, like if you don't feel like you're not safe, you're hurting a little bit and things like that, get some help. Okay. That's the next thing that you want to do. If you feel all these symptoms down here, then you go ahead and start getting some help right away.
Right.
But scoot on the floor.
Oh, okay. So if I am starting to hurt and I've left my phone, phone's in the other room or cell phone's not with me in the bathroom, then it's best to not try to stand up and walk.
No.
Just simply scoot along the floor if I can and get to that phone and make a phone call.
That's right.
All right. That's very good. Is it always best if I am starting to hurt to go ahead and try to call a medical professional as opposed to a family member first? I know a lot of people, I'm going to call my daughter, I'm going to call my son or something like that, but if you're hurting, it's probably best to go ahead and get the ambulance on the way.
The second phone call should be for EMS, so that way both of them are at the same time, so they can be at least checked out and make sure that nothing is going on. Because when you do that, what you're doing is like, again, we talked about the complications. Right. You're preventing all those things. Right. So that way your recovery is a little bit faster because, if, for example, if you broke something and you're bleeding, like there's no way to control. Your daughter can come and she can try to help you, or your son can come and try to help you. But if you have a professional coming in, they can take care of it right away, and they can get the proper help, and then they can get you to the hospital immediately.
Well, while we're still down here on the floor, let me ask a couple of questions. I've fallen. How much is this going to cost me? What's the average cost of a fall these days?
The average cost of a fall, and if you were to break your hip or your leg and need surgery, it's over $19,000.
Over
$19,000. That's just just the hospital stay, coming into ER, taking care of things, and then going to a hospital if you have some problems. And then that's the hospital stay, and including that itself, not the physician charge or anything like that. That's just the hospital stay.
Okay. Yeah. Wow.
And then nationally, the government spends
$30 million a year.
Falls.
Wow.
A year.
Are the complications that happens after.
Now, Julie, we were talking about the bathroom being one of the most likely places for someone to fall, and you brought in a couple of props, and you wanted to demonstrate a couple of things for us that really everyone should consider having in their home if they're prone to fall, or even if they're not prone to fall.
That's correct.
Can you kind of tell us what we've got here?
Yes, this is a tub transfer bench, and it's pretty much one of the safest pieces of equipment for the bathroom you could have.
And this is something that someone could get at any medical supply?
That's correct.
Okay.
That's correct. We're going to pretend the bathtub is underneath
So,
this
so our
bench.
tub runs this way, right there. So you are actually where the faucets would be, right there. Okay.
Correct.
So there's our tub, and this is actually sitting in the tub.
It is.
Okay.
Now this part is sitting outside the tub.
The little
Okay?
ledge. Okay.
Yes. So what a person would do to get into the bathtub is back up, sit down on the edge,
Okay.
pick their legs up over,
Okay. Because
the
our edge
side.
of the tub is right here.
correct,
Okay.
and then scoot in.
Oh, okay. That's
and
easy.
so that eliminates having to step over into the tub, falling into the tub, or stepping out of the tub and falling out of the tub.
And that's one of the most dangerous parts of getting into the tub is the stepping up and over,
That's right.
Okay.
That's
All right.
right.
Very good.
Once you're in the tub, you can use a handheld shower to spray yourself. You can have grab bars in the tub, non-skid strips, and
Okay.
then the outside, if you do have a mat, make sure it's a non-slip
Okay.
bath mat.
So that pretty little bath rug, you might want to get rid of that and get a non-skid
Yes.
bath mat.
Right.
Right.
Or you can tape the mat
Right.
down. as
Well, and the thing about that is those things, the little strips that go into the tub, and those things are readily available. They're inexpensive, and that's probably one of the first things that people could do that would be a big improvement as far as their environment is concerned.
Right.
And then next, of course, consider maybe getting one of those bars installed.
And another thing, this can save a lot of money. A lot of people think, oh, I need to have my whole bathroom remodeled to get a walk-in shower. You
Right.
know? Well, in some cases that's good, but this might be a cheaper option.
Okay. Well, and it seems very easy and very simple to use.
It
So
is.
it's something, and of course you demonstrated it with someone that might also be using a walker or a device to help them with their mobility. So
Correct.
no problem there. All
And
right, very good.
To get out, you just put your legs over the side, scoot, turn, and then stand up.
All right. That's easy to do. All right,
is.
very good. Well, again, this can be had at just about any medical supply place. And again, remember, if you've got questions, you can always call the folks up here at PRMC.